दोस्तों स्वागत है आप सभी का हमारे YouTube चैनल मैथमेटिकल पाठशाला में। लास्ट लेक्चर में मैंने आपको एक होमवर्क दिया था। सपोज वी हैव अ field isomorphism. This symbol I am using from Dummett and Foote book, and this is an isomorphism of fields from F to F prime. Then by using this, quickly we have an isomorphism between the rings F and Fx and F prime x. This is an isomorphism of rings. And how can you create this? Suppose this is your map phi, then you can define this mapping as by operating phi on the coefficients of the polynomial. Suppose you are finding at qx and qx looks like a naught, say q naught plus q1x plus up to qn x power n. Then what will be the image of this phi? Say let me call it a phi x. So this phi x will be like phi x, and you operate this on the coefficients, say k naught q naught plus phi x q naught plus phi x, okay, not phi x, it should be phi at q naught plus phi at q1 times x plus phi at qn x power n. And clearly one can check easily this is an ring isomorphism because fx is not a field. So once you have this, you can take some irreducible polynomial for fx, say px belongs to fx. This is an irreducible polynomial, and this fx being a PID, the ideal generated by some irreducible element becomes a maximal ideal. So I can say this fx ideal generated by this px, this is a maximal ideal, and this fx quotient ideal generated by px will give you a field, and this field is going to be an isomorphism with this structure phi x px. You find the image of your image of px under phi x map and take the ideal generated by that. So I claim that this is a maximal ideal. I hope आपने सबने proof try करा होगा. Let me give you one hint for the proof only. I will give you just only one hint. You have to prove that this px is a maximal ideal. So then this is going to be a maximal ideal. So this is the image of this px. This phi x px is the image of px. You have to prove that this generates a maximal ideal. So you assume, suppose it is not a maximal ideal. This is a member of f prime x. Suppose it is not a maximal ideal. Then you must have some ideal in the f prime x which contains this properly, and it is contained in properly f prime x. That means there is an ideal which contains this ideal properly, say ideal generated by some tx, because in a PID every ideal is generated by some single element. So this ideal must be generated by some single element, and suppose this is properly contained in f prime x. So you are having this situation. Then what will be the contradiction here? The contradiction will be that this px will not be a maximal. So you have to find in which it is contained in properly. So this is the only hint for you, and you have to use this phi x as a bijection. So inverse of this exists. You have to use this, the inverse of this phi x exists. So you have to use that inverse and the pre-image of this tx, because this tx is a polynomial in f prime x, so it must have some pre-image because phi x is a bijection. So you have to use the pre-image of this, then use the bijective property. You will get your answer that why this is a maximal ideal. And further, suppose px has a root, so this extension of f contains a root of p, so you can say this is isomorphic to f alpha, that we proved in the last lecture. And similarly, this phi x px is a maximal ideal in f prime x, so there is an extension of f prime which contains f prime or as a copy of f prime and contains a root of this phi x px. So let's say that root is beta, so it will be f prime beta. So you are having this situation. The only thing is remain to prove that the maximality of this, and that you can prove by using the contradiction property. So this is easy. So this I am leaving it to you. Now let's see some this question. Suppose I give you a polynomial which is x cube plus 6x plus 3. This is okay. Let me define, say, over qx. Whether this is irreducible or not, by Eisenstein criteria you can check this is an irreducible polynomial, because 3 divides 3, 3 divides 6, 3 divides 0, 3 divides 3 does not divide 1, then 3 square does not divide 3. So this is irreducible by using Eisenstein criteria. You can use root criteria also, because this is a 3-degree polynomial and you are checking over a field. Over a field, a 2-degree or 3-degree polynomial is reducible if and only if it has a root, but this does not have a root on Q. That you can check by using the rational root criteria. Here your constant term is 3. So what is the possibility for this polynomial to have a rational root? That is all the possible divisors of 3. So possible rational root can be either plus minus 1 or plus minus 3. If it has a root which is rational, then it can be either plus minus 1 or it can be either plus minus 3. It cannot have other than any root. So this is a rational root criteria that we have already studied in रिंग थ्योरी चैप्टर. तो आप रूट क्राइटेरिया से भी चेक कर सकते हो, बट आइजनस्टीन क्राइटेरिया यू हैव ऑलरेडी स्टडीड, यू कैन यूज दैट वन. नाउ वंस यू हैव दिस, you can write this. This is again a field which is an extension of Q, or which is an extension which contains a copy of Q. This isomorphic as a Q times theta, Q adjoint theta, where theta is a root of this polynomial. That is clear, because that we have already proven in the last lecture. And what is the definition of this? You take a0 plus a1 theta plus a2 theta square, where each ai is coming from rational. So this is the definition of this q theta. This is the q adjoint theta, the smallest field containing q and theta. One can ask the natural question again, can you give me inverse of every element here? Because if it is a field, so every non-zero element will give you an inverse. So suppose you want to find the inverse of 1 plus theta. This is a particular one, but this gives you the technique. If someone asks you to find the inverse of any element, you can find in this structure. This type of questions asked in NBHM examination. They give you some structure like this and they ask you what is the inverse of this element. So this is the technique you can use. Let's go with the definition. If it has an inverse, then there must exist some polynomial or some element in this, and the element in this looks like this format. Say a0 plus a1 theta plus a2 theta square is equal to 1. This is a definition of inverse. So this will be the inverse of this. So now this is a polynomial in theta, this is a polynomial in theta, and two polynomials are same if and only if the corresponding coefficients are same. So you find this first. You will have a0 plus a1 theta plus a2 theta square plus a0 theta plus a1 theta square. But as you find a2 theta cube, but theta cube can be written as minus 3 minus 6 theta. So this is minus 3 a0 minus 6 a0 theta you will have, and this is equal to 1. Now you compare the constant term, compare the coefficient of theta and theta square. So this will give you a0 minus 3 in it should be 2 minus 3 a2 is equal to 1. The constant term, coefficient of theta will give you a1 plus a0 minus 6 a2 barabar 0, and coefficient of theta square will give you a2 plus a1 is equal to 0. Now this system you can solve and you will get a unique solution, because every element possesses a unique inverse. So you solve this equation, you will get your answer. So this is the basic idea you can use to find the inverse of any type of element. I am just finding for this, you can find for any element which is non-zero. Now let's move further for the concept of minimal polynomial. This is again a very nice concept. काफ़ी लोगों को डाउट्स होते हैं डेफिनेशन मिनिमल पॉलिनोमियल की, बट आई विल ट्राई टू गिव यू द बेसिक हाउ वी कैन प्रोड्यूस द मिनिमल पॉलिनोमियल एंड व्हाट इज द मोटिव बिहाइंड दिस मिनिमल पॉलिनोमियल. Let alpha belongs to K, where K is an extension of the field F. This is the symbol I am using for the K is an extension of F. Alpha is called algebraic element if alpha is a root of a non-zero polynomial in fx. In fx means the coefficient of that polynomials are coming from the field f. So this is a definition for the algebraic element that we have already given in the real analysis part. But in that topic we gave you only for the rationals, reals and complex fields. But here this is in general definition. Suppose K is an extension of a field f. Alpha is called algebraic element if alpha is a root. Okay, let me make one change here. Over f. That will make more sense. Suppose we say alpha is an algebraic element over f if alpha is a root of a non-zero polynomial in fx. If alpha is not algebraic, we say alpha is transcendental over f. For a particular instance, see this example. If I choose root 2, what can you say about this root 2? This root 2 is algebraic over Q or not? Can you give me a polynomial which is defined on Q and contains root 2 as a root? So this is x square minus 2. So this root 2 is algebraic over Q. Clearly we already know this pi is not algebraic over Q. Pi is not algebraic over Q. See, you only know this result, but you do not know why it is so. So we will try to cover this proof also, why pi is not algebraic over Q, why pi is a transcendental number. So I will try to give you the criteria for this in this course. Okay, I ask you one question, but I will answer you this later. This is a nice exercise for you. In the upcoming 2 lecture or 3 lecture we will be discussing. But trust me, if you are able to do now, then I think you are understanding the topic. You can do now. Cos m degree, where m belongs to integer. What can you say about this? Is algebraic or transcendental over Q. What can you say about this element? So this is an exercise for you. Try to prove or disprove whether this cos m degree for m belongs to integer is algebraic or transcendental. If you are having a problem in this, you first try this one, cos 1 degree. I will give you just a simple hint. Use this thing. Cos m degree plus I sine m degree is e to the power I times m. Use this one. So you have to use this Euler formula. In the upcoming lecture, I will be discussing the solution in detail. So now you understand the definition of algebraic and transcendental element. Let K over F be an extension and this is called algebraic if every element in K is algebraic over F. So this is a definition of an algebraic extension. An extension K over F is called algebraic if every element inside K is a root of some non-zero polynomial inside F, or in other words, every element in K is algebraic over F. Let's see some example of algebraic extension. Suppose we are having a base field Q. This Q root 3, this is an algebraic extension because for this you can give me this polynomial x square minus 3. This is defined on Q, so this is an algebraic extension. Here you can take Q square root of 2. This is an algebraic extension. This is also an algebraic extension over Q. I have written this to left hand side and this to right hand side because they are not isomorphic. That we have already seen in the last lecture. So this is an algebraic extension of Q because this root 2 is algebraic over Q, root 3 is algebraic over Q. This is 2-degree extension. This is 2-degree extension that you already know because the criteria we have seen for by using the basis element. This is 2-degree extension, this is 2-degree extension, this is 2-degree extension. Can you say this is a 4-degree extension? Can I directly say this from here to here it is 4-degree extension? So we have not seen the criteria for this till now. So that we will be covering soon. We will prove that this is actually a 4-degree extension. So here we have some example of algebraic extension. Now let me give you the construction or the definition of minimal polynomial. Let K over F be an extension. Let alpha be algebraic over F. That means there is a polynomial in F which contains alpha as a root. Then there is a polynomial or there is a monic polynomial. Monic means the coefficient of highest degree is 1. A monic polynomial, say m alpha fx. This notation again I am using from Dummett and Foote book, and I will also say you कि आप भी जो भी notation use करो वो हमेशा standard होने चाहिए because that works uniformly in your further studies. Containing alpha as a root and is irreducible plus unique. So suppose K over F is an extension of F and alpha be an algebraic element over F. Or you can say this alpha is a member of this K. Then there is a monic polynomial, say m alpha fx belongs to fx, containing alpha as a root and is irreducible plus unique. Moreover, if any polynomial, say fx, contains alpha as a root, if and only if m alpha f x divides f x, and this m alpha f is called the minimal polynomial. I am not saying that is a minimal polynomial because I have told you this is this is a unique polynomial, so I can use the word this is the minimal polynomial. Before proving, the proof is straightforward. Let's see some example. Suppose q root iota is an extension of q. So you have to give me a monic polynomial which contains iota as a root, and this is irreducible over q and it is unique. So this is the unique irreducible polynomial which is monic defined on q. You cannot give me any other polynomial. Another example, you can say q omega over q. Omega is a third primitive root of unity. So I can give you that polynomial by x square plus x plus 1. This is the unique monic irreducible polynomial over q which contains omega as a root. Any other polynomial you give me, either that will not be monic or that will not be irreducible over q. This is by using this theorem. Can you give me for this q 1 plus iota over q, can you give me the minimal polynomial for this? I have not given you the proof, I will give you proof, but I am asking you to give me the minimal polynomial for this 1 plus iota. Can you give me, or can you predict the degree of the minimal polynomial here? Let's see how can I predict the degree. Suppose you are having this q field. This is contained in q iota. See, this is contained in q iota. Can I say this q 1 plus iota is contained in q iota? Because see why? This iota is already here. 1 is already inside q. So 1 plus iota will be inside q. That is clear. Because this is the smallest field containing q and iota. And this contains 1 and iota both. So this must contain sum of 2 because this is a field, and inside field you have two operations. One is multiplication and one is addition. So this will satisfy additive property also. So 1 is inside this, iota is inside this. So 1 plus iota must be inside this. But this is also a field, and this is the smallest field containing q and iota. This contains iota also, because this contains 1 plus iota, this contains 1. If you take 1 plus iota minus 1, that will give you iota, that is also inside this, and this is the smallest one. So this contains this also. So actually this is same as this, not same as this, or you can say this is isomorphic to this. Actually they are same, they will give you the same elements, but the minimal polynomial may differ. Can you give me the minimal polynomial for this? This is x square plus 1, but the minimal polynomial for this, you should use this technique. Suppose x is equal to 1 plus iota, then you take x minus 1 whole square is equal to iota square which is minus 1, then you will have x square, then you will have minus 2x, and you will have plus 2 barabar 0, and this is irreducible by using Eisenstein criteria. This is monic. So this is the minimal polynomial for 1 plus iota over q. तो अगर आपका एक्सटेंशन सेम है बट जो एडजॉइंट एलिमेंट है वो डिफरेंट है, तो आपका मिनिमल पॉलिनोमियल डिफर कर सकता है. एंड व्हाई आई ऑलवेज से यू टू स्टडी द डमिट एंड फूटे बुक, because there are some questions in GATE examination they ask directly from that book. We will see. This is one of the example. Q square root of 3 plus 2 root 2, and they are asking the degree of extension of this extension over Q, and this question is directly copy paste from the Damit and Forte book. You will see in the exercise 1 in the field theory chapter, and the question number will be 9. So that is why I always force you to study that book. This is not for the exam purpose, but अगर आप उसकी exercise line by line solve करोगे तो कोई concept ऐसा नहीं बचेगा जो miss हुआ हो. दैट आई एश्योर यू। कोई भी कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं बचेगा आपका, आप सारे के सारे क्वेश्चन लाइन बाय लाइन सॉल्व करो। सो कैन यू गिव मी द मिनिमल पॉलिनोमियल फॉर दिस? Okay, let us prove first this, then I will come to the minimal polynomial for this. The proof is straightforward. We have k over f and alpha is an algebraic element. So suppose if alpha is an algebraic element, so there is a polynomial. Since alpha belongs to k over f is algebraic, so there must have some polynomial in f which contains alpha as a root. But suppose you give me any polynomial, say gx in f which contains alpha as a root, or you give me all the polynomials in f which contains alpha as a root. Can I choose of minimal degree? Not minimum. I am saying, can I choose of minimal degree? Yeah, definitely I can choose of minimal degree, because degree is a natural number, and degree is a natural number, and in natural number I can always choose the minimal element. So that comes from the well ordering principle. So this implies there exists, say gx belongs to fx of minimal degree with g alpha is 0. So I can always choose a polynomial which is of minimal degree, and I claim this is the required polynomial. That means this is irreducible. I can make this as monic. Okay, this is a minimal of minimal degree plus monic. Monic I can choose because suppose gx looks like some a0 plus a1x plus up to an x power n, but we are in a field, so an must have inverse. So you operate with the inverse of an, then you will get a monic polynomial. So you can always clear your denominators, or you can make always your polynomial inside a field. You can make that monic. If you are not in field, you cannot do this. Suppose I am saying to make 2x square plus 4 in z. Can you make it monic? You cannot make it monic because inverse of 2 does not exist in z. So if you are in a field, you can do that. Now let's prove this. This g is irreducible. I am removing this statement. Claim g is irreducible. Suppose if you can express your gx as some g1x, g2x with g1x, g2x belongs to fx and 1 less than degree of g1 comma degree of g2 less than degree of g. This is the meaning of the reducibility. Suppose if you are able to factorize this further, that means your gx can be expressed as a product of two lower degree polynomials which are non-constant. So g1x, g2x with g1 and g2 are coming from f, and degree of g1, degree of g2 is strictly bigger than 1, and okay, not bigger than 1, you can choose less than or equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to degree of g1, degree of g2 less than degree of g. Then this will give you g at alpha will be g1 alpha, g2 alpha, but that is 0 because g contains alpha as a root, and fx is a principal ideal domain, so it is an integral domain, and in an integral domain if two elements if the product of two elements is 0, that means this will imply either your g1 alpha is 0 or g2 alpha is 0, but that is a contradiction, and contradiction because of this minimal degree. You are saying this g is of minimal degree which satisfies alpha, and degree of g1 and g2 both are less than g. So this is a contradiction, and contradiction arises because you have assumed that this can be factorized further, but this cannot be factorized further. That means this g is irreducible over f. Now, so we have proved the irreducibility. Now let us prove the uniqueness of this g. Claim this g is unique. Let if possible fx be any other polynomial in fx with alpha as a root. So suppose you have another polynomial fx which contains alpha as a root. What is the nice property of this fx? This is an Euclidean domain. You have a distance function here that allows you to use the division algorithm. So if you use a division algorithm, so this fx will be same as some qx gx plus rx, where this qx is a quotient and this rx is a remainder, where degree of rx is less than degree of gx or degree of rx is, or this rx will be a zero polynomial. That I will prove, because see, if this is by using the division algorithm, see this f contains alpha as a root, this g contains alpha as a root, so this will force this r alpha will be 0 because f at alpha will be same as g at alpha, q at alpha into g at alpha plus r at alpha, but this is 0, this is 0, so this will force r at alpha will be 0. Once your r at alpha is 0, so this r contains this r is of lesser degree, but this again contradict to the fact that this g is of minimal degree. So this will force us this rx is identically 0 polynomial, because alpha is algebraic. So alpha is a root of some non-zero polynomial. So if it is a root of some lower degree polynomial, that has to be a 0 polynomial. So if you choose any other polynomial which contains alpha as a root, then this will force you this gx divides fx. That means this g must be a unique polynomial, because you are choosing this g to be a monic polynomial. So that is why this g is a unique monic irreducible polynomial which satisfies alpha or contains alpha as a root, and call this g as a m alpha fx, the minimal polynomial of alpha over the field f, and this is always unique. Degree of m alpha over x is called degree of this alpha element, and this certainly becomes degree of your extension f alpha over f. That comes directly from this fact. We know that this f alpha is isomorphic to fx quotiented with some irreducible polynomial which contains alpha as a root, but this polynomial is working like a minimal polynomial here, so I can choose m alpha f because I know that this is irreducible polynomial over f and contains alpha as a root. So this fx quotiented with ideal generated by this minimal polynomial of alpha is isomorphic to f alpha, and the extension of this degree of extension of this field is nothing but the degree of this polynomial, and degree of this polynomial is known as the degree of alpha. So I can surely say this f alpha over f has a dimension exactly same as the degree of this minimal polynomial. And further you can write the basis for this. The basis will be like 1 alpha up to alpha to the power n minus 1. This is the basis. So that concept we have already seen. So this is the definition, or you can say the construction of minimal polynomial. Now you can use, you can give me the minimal polynomial for this, or the extension of degree of extension of this. See here your x is square root of 3 plus 2 root 2. Can I say this is same as 1 plus root 2? Can I say this? See how this 3 can be written as 1 plus 2, or you can say 1 plus root 2 whole square is same as 1 plus 2 plus 2 root 2, which is 3 plus 2 square root of 2. So 1 plus root 2 will be square root of 3 plus 2 root 2. This will be like this. So I can say this x is same as 1 plus square root of 2. Now you can find the minimal polynomial x minus 1 whole square root 2 square, which will be 2, then you will get x square minus 2x, here you will have plus 1. So this is the minimal polynomial of square root of 3 plus 2 root 2. And the degree of minimal polynomial actually gives you the dimension of the vector space this over Q, or the degree of extension. Now, if you understand this part, let's come to this. Suppose we have a field F and we have an extension of this, say F alpha, and F alpha is finite if and only if alpha is algebraic over F. So this is a nice criteria to claim that this alpha is an algebraic over F. So for this, let's prove one by one. Say one way, if F alpha over F is finite, say n. And what is this n? This n is the degree of some polynomial which is irreducible and contains alpha as a root. So this implies there exists a polynomial px in F such that this px is irreducible and P at alpha is 0. Degree of P is n. So alpha is a root of some n degree irreducible polynomial. But as you are in your field, you can always clear your denominators. But that is not necessary. So this alpha is algebraic over F because this alpha is a root of some non-zero polynomial. This is non-zero because you are choosing n to be the degree of P. So this implies your alpha is algebraic. Now let's see the converse. If alpha is algebraic, then you have to prove that F alpha over F is finite. That means that the degree of this extension is finite. If alpha is okay, let me give you one more criteria for this, because that is, I think, to explore more. Suppose F alpha over F is n dimensional vector space, or you can say F alpha is n dimensional vector space over F. So if you choose any n plus 1 elements, those are going to be linearly dependent. So what about this 1 alpha square up to alpha to the power n? This is linearly dependent over F. So this is linearly dependent over F. This will force you. This implies, say, b0 plus b1 alpha plus bn alpha to the power n is 0, where not all bi's are 0. That means this alpha is a root of this polynomial, which is b0 plus b1x plus up to bn x power n. So I have given you a explicit polynomial here. So you can use this proof also in place of this. Both are correct. So if alpha is, but I must say this proof is more better, because here we do not know whether this alpha is a member of F or not. But here there is not necessary to verify whether this alpha is inside F or not, because if alpha is inside F, then this n must be 1. You can if n is 1, you can take this polynomial x minus alpha, because alpha inside F, that means you can define this x minus alpha polynomial. This x minus alpha is defined over fx, and this is a polynomial which satisfies alpha. So alpha is an algebraic element. Now converse, if alpha is an algebraic, over f, then you have to prove that this is a finite extension. But that comes very naturally, because if alpha is algebraic, so it has a minimal polynomial, it has the minimal polynomial, then you have f alpha is isomorphic to fx, ideal generated by minimal polynomial of alpha over x over f, and this has the dimension, or it has the degree of extension, which is the degree of this alpha. So if this alpha is algebraic, so it has some finite degree, and the degree will be some n. So this extension must be a finite extension. So the proof is straightforward. Now by using this, you have a very strong point you can observe. If K over F is a finite extension, this implies alpha is, or K over F is algebraic. K over F is, if K over F is finite extension, then K over F is algebraic. That means every finite extension is an algebraic extension. The proof is straightforward by using this. Let alpha be any arbitrary element of K. We have to find a polynomial which contains alpha as a root and define on F. And that we can always find, because if alpha is in K, then clearly the situation is like this. Suppose this is your K, this is your F. You have a subfield which is F alpha, and this must be above to F and below to K, because this K contains F, K contains alpha, then and F alpha is the smallest field containing F and alpha. So this K must contain F and alpha, because K contains F and alpha both. So if you see this, degree of F alpha over F must be less than or equal to degree of K over F. But this is a finite, because we have given this K over F is a finite extension. So degree of extension must be finite, and we have seen F alpha over F is infinite if and only if alpha is algebraic. So this directly implies alpha is algebraic, and we have chosen an arbitrary element of K. So every element is algebraic over F. That means this extension is algebraic. What can you say about the converse part? Can you give me some example where K over F is an algebraic extension, but K over F is not a finite extension? Let me give you an standard example. Converse is not true. Suppose you choose Q square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5, square root of 7, and so on. This is clearly not a finite extension over Q, but this is algebraic. Any element you give me, I can always give you a polynomial on Q which satisfy this. So the polynomial will be like, say, x square minus p, where p is desired prime. Because what you are doing, you are collecting all the primes, taking a square root, and you are adjoining in the increasing order. So you give me any prime p, I can give you x square minus p polynomial. This is defined on Q, and this p is the desired prime number. So every element here is an algebraic, and this is not a finite extension. Clearly, this is generated by infinitely many elements. So it is non-terminating extension. If it is finite, then what will be the contradiction? That there are only finite number of primes, but we already know there are infinite number of primes. Have you ever tried to prove this, that there are infinitely many primes? ट्राई करना, आपसे हो सकता है कभी किसी इंटरव्यू वगैरह में भी पूछ सकते हैं. प्रूव दैट देयर आर ओनली फाइनाइटली मैनी प्राइम्स, सॉरी देयर आर इन्फिनिटली मैनी प्राइम्स. सो ट्राई टू प्रूव दैट स्टेटमेंट, देयर आर इन्फिनिटली मैनी प्राइम्स. So this is one example. Now let me ask you one question that we will discuss in the upcoming lecture, because once we have any concept, we have many questions in our mind. The natural question is again suppose alpha comma beta belongs to K and K is an extension of F. If alpha and beta are algebraic, what can you say about this? Alpha plus beta or alpha plus minus beta, alpha by beta, where beta is non-zero, are they algebraic? That means if you have an extension of K over F, you collect all the algebraic elements and then you are looking for that structure, whether this structure is going to be a ring or not, a field or not. So first you are seeing the closure property with respect to addition and with respect to multiplication, and you are verifying whether this is going to be a subring of this K or not. So try to find whether they are algebraic or not. This is very easy. Don't go rigorously. If you go rigorously, you will not get the logical proof. So before proving, think enough to finish your proof in 2 or 3 lines. If you are going more than 4 or 5 lines, then you are going in a wrong direction. Once if you prove that this alpha plus minus beta is algebraic, then your this question cos m degree sin m degree, this question will be proved. They are algebraic elements over Q. How? You will see in this manner. E power iota times m by 80, it will be like cos m by 80 plus iota sin m by 80. You will have like this. You have iota e power iota m 80. Okay, now this is 180. This will give you plus minus 1 according to your m. Okay, not this. Let me fix this thing. So e to the power iota m pi by 180. अगर आप इसकी पावर 180 करोगे, then you will have plus minus 1. That means this shows that cos m pi by 180 plus iota sin m pi by 180. This is algebraic because it is a root of this polynomial e to the power x to the power 360 is equal to 1. Either you can say this or you can say this. This is the root of this polynomial and this is defined on rationals. So you are having this. You can choose m to be negative integer also. Then what you will have? You will have this because cos is an even function, sin is an odd function, and by same logic you are having this is algebraic, and once it is algebraic you can take the sum, you can take the subtraction. If you sum these two, they will get cancelled. You will have 2 times cos of m pi by 180 is algebraic and 2 is algebraic, so your cos m pi by 180 will be algebraic. So you can use that criteria. So this is the enough hint for you. So we will first prove that the sum of 2 algebraic element is algebraic, product of 2 algebraic element is algebraic, quotient of 2 algebraic, provided it is defined, it is going to be algebraic over the base field. Then we will come to this question. This you may get in your examination also. चलिए आज के लेक्चर को इतना ही खत्म करते हैं, एंड आई एक्सपेक्ट जो भी मैंने आपको काम दिया है आप ट्राई करना उसको, एंड वी विल मीट इन अवर नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग दिस लेक्चर.